Hey, if you're thinking, I barely have time to write, let alone start a podcast, I got you. My Start Your Author podcast checklist helps busy writers like you start a podcast without sacrificing your writing time. No more guessing or Googling. Starting is actually the easiest part of podcasting. And with this step-by-step checklist, you can fit it in over the next 6 weeks or even next weekend. Stop letting uncertainty hold you back. Grab your free checklist at the link below and get on your way to serving your target readers today. So what's all the fuss about video anyway? Can't we just keep serving our target readers behind the mic on podcast as a host and a guest? Whether getting on camera gives you the sweats, like it does me, or you're simply curious about how video might improve the way you connect with your target readers online, this episode is for you. I recently connected with my new friend, Danielle Wallace, copywriter and video marketer on Threads, and I couldn't wait to have her on the show to talk about the power of video as you grow your author platform with tips on getting comfortable being seen on camera, and better yet, lots of ideas for faceless videos to help you connect with your target readers. You're in for a treat today, so let's get to it. Welcome, Danielle. I'm so thrilled you're here to serve my listeners on Book Marketing Mania.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here and share a bit of knowledge, advice to, help them out on their author journey.
Yeah, there's so many things to do, as you know, with marketing in general, but especially marketing a book. And so I definitely wanted to talk to you and to spin your ear, Danielle, about helping those of us that either we're in the process of writing a book and we're building our author platforms, our email list, our, list of future book buyers, or maybe we already do have a book in hand and we're ready to start marketing it. I kind of think of all that as marketing, as I'm sure you would too. But let's just talk about, where authors and writers are starting to think about their promotional strategies, no matter where they are in their journey, is just, this video thing. Some people are just like a natural at it, and others like me are scared to death of it and get so worked up about it. So I would love for you to share kind of at a high level, and then we'll dig into it. Just where can you see authors using video in their marketing strategies?
So these days, I believe there are so many ways that authors can use videos in their marketing strategy. A bit about me, I self-published a book way back in 2011.
Uh-huh.
This was before, TikTok and all the Instagram reels and stuff like that. And so I used Facebook to market,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would post different statuses and maybe pictures and stuff like that. And one of the things that I did related to video way back then, and I probably just did it because I was a broadcast journalism student at the time, was I kind of put together like a little book trailer. I think I used something, whatever editing tool that was on my laptop, and just put together like some pictures or something, just to have something out there that was kind of different. I just knew early on, okay, maybe some sort of video will help. Now fast forward these days, we have so many ways that we can, get the word out there about stuff. And so, first of all, when it comes to using video to market your book, I would say, just be confident in yourself to show up on video as it relates to marketing your book, because I know that so many authors get caught up in the writing process of it all. They don't want to have anything to do per se with, talking about the book
Uh-huh.
publicly. Maybe it makes some authors nervous. Maybe they choose to just, hey, not be seen, just stay behind the scenes of it. And so the first thing that I would encourage authors to do is just be confident in yourself as an author who, hey, boldly show up and talk about this book that you spent hours, months, maybe even years putting together. Be confident in sharing what it is all about in a different capacity than you're used to. Even so, right now, I think that a lot of authors, if you even take video out of the equation, I think that a lot of authors kind of lack when it comes to promoting their book in general, maybe just sharing when it launches and just, forgetting about it, forgetting that, hey, I need to tell people this more than once. And so when it
Yeah.
comes to showing up on video for your book, first thing is confidence. The second thing is knowing, hey, I need to tell people about this multiple times, not just once, not just when the book launches either, because people in general, all of us, we are consumed with information on a daily basis. A lot of information. People have to be told stuff multiple times for it to be like, oh, yeah, I need to go order that book. I need to go pick up
Mhm.
that book and support that author. That's something that I definitely want to get around to reading. So, those are the first things, confidence and knowing, hey, I need to show up more than once. The third thing is not just going about it in a way like winging it, but rather putting together some sort of strategy in terms of how you are going to show up. And so that's always helpful. Those are the first three things that I would tell people when it comes to showing up on video as an author.
Yeah, that's so good because I think, in the early days, before video, I mean, we were way younger, Danielle, but, before video was on the forefront, it was so much about, like, the memes and just, you could just kinda post stuff, and you showed up in comments, but you didn't have to, like, show up on video, and I remember, like you said, the Facebook Live when that first, came about, it was, like, such a huge deal to get on video, and you saw your favorite author, on video, and you felt like you have this much deeper connection because even if somebody else was on the same video as you, it's just like you feel that instant connection. So I definitely think, it's on the rise. I mean, we keep hearing about that, like video content. We all want video content. And I think we do, and in some aspects, right? But I think, yeah, it's so easy to get kind of caught up in yourself on it, and just kind of removing yourself from it and being able to talk about it in different ways than just, hey, buy my book. And oh, did you know my book's out? Like you said, we have to hear it multiple times and hear it earlier, to be thinking about it when the book comes out or whenever the offer is made. Yeah, I mean, I just love that
Mhm.
it's just that journey, and we just have to keep reminding them and reminding them and reminding them that we have, some way to help them. So I think that's so
Exactly.
good. So just from a video strategy, if you're like, okay, I am going to start using some kind of video to help build my platform or market my book, what are you seeing working the best? Is it the short form video or the long form video or a mix of both? How would you recommend people start with that?
I think it's a mix of both. So when it comes to having some sort of strategy, you want to, definitely sit down and think, okay, what is going to be sufficient for you? Uh, do I need to be on one platform, 2, 3? What's gonna work for you? Because everybody's, life schedule is different, but what's gonna work for you that you can definitely stick to? Do you wanna do Instagram? Do you wanna do TikTok? Do you wanna do Instagram and TikTok? You can do both. "Hey, I wanna post this on Instagram, but I also want to take that same video and post it on TikTok." That's a good idea because both of them, have that same format. You can also post on YouTube Shorts if you would like to. If you want to go long form, you can turn it into something like, if you have the time on YouTube as long form, you want to go in depth, you want to maybe having some, I don't know, a day in the life of authors or something like that. There's a really good YouTuber, I can't think of her name right now, but I started watching her years ago. She would tell the process of her writing her books and launching them
Oh,
on
yeah.
YouTube. And all her videos were like vlog style mostly. But you got to figure out what's going to work for you and your lifestyle at the time. Um, there are so many different types of topics that you could do, whether you're doing it on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. Just thinking more so outside the box because you're not, out here simply selling the book, but rather the emotion behind the book. So, okay, when it comes to the strategy, uh, what can you talk about? Like, what was in your book writing process that you think would be interesting to people? Talk about why you wrote your book. Who is it for? Different things like that. Having some video, taking your phone and getting a tripod and just doing some video, some shooting some 1-minute video of you sitting down, with your book in your hand, like reading it, taking your book, going to different places, go to a coffee shop, go to a park, set up your phone on a tripod, have the book in view or something, you in the background or something like that, drinking some coffee or something, just something to think outside the box, something that, okay, I could add some text on this. I don't have to talk on camera. I can add some text on this related to something about my book. There are so many things that you can do. You can imprint it in people's mind, like, oh, I could take her book out with me to the park one day or something like that. Like, hey, you could set up your phone and your tripod and have some video of you putting the book in your bag or something like that. Just getting it in people's heads like, oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. I need to do some reading at the coffee shop. So I need to pick up her book, right? Different things like that, especially like when it comes to like different clips that you can take of your book and stuff like that. When it comes to you actually talking on camera, you could, like I said, talk about why you wrote the book.
Uh-huh.
Who is it for? Maybe something interesting or an unpopular opinion about the topic of the book that you're writing on. So those are a few that I think are good ideas for people, fairly easy. Another one that comes to mind is, if you want to kind of get fancy or creative, you can go on Amazon and find a tripod that you can maybe attach to your desk. It's like an overhead tripod. You can sit it on your desk or attach it to your desk where it has like a overhead shot of you working. So you could be really creative with that. Like, I think it was one that came to mind earlier that I wanted to mention. Like, maybe you do like a reel that says 5 reasons why something. Why not
Uh-huh.
have some sticky notes or whatever? And I guess like lead them out one by one with, those reasons why, if that makes sense. That comes to mind. Maybe you writing in a journal or a notebook or something like that. Maybe you laying out a couple of books on your desk. Another one that comes to mind is I can probably go on and on about
Yeah,
this.
these are great because you know what I love all about these is like it's not me with the video on me talking, right? I mean, it's like you could do
Right.
that, right? And if that's your gifting, do it. But there's so many other
Yeah.
ways. And of course, I'm preaching to myself here, Danielle, because I don't do any of them. But I'm like eating it up, going, "Oh, I could do this. Like this is so
Yep.
doable."
Yep, you can definitely do that. Another one that comes to mind is a good one, fairly easy one is unboxing your book. Like,
Hmm.
as authors, you get like a proof copy. You can
Yeah.
unbox proof copy um, on a video. There's just so many things, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you pick up your planner if you have a physical planner, flip through your planner, have some text on it, the video that says something about the date of your book launch. Like obviously you could have something like I'm planning my book launch or something like give them the idea more than one time that you are doing stuff. If you are going to like different events and you're like a vendor or something like that, setting up a tripod in your phone, getting video of your vending spot and stuff like that. So there are so many ways you just gotta think outside of the box when it comes to okay, how am I gonna show up? Like you gotta think about the emotion part of it. That's why I mentioned all those different ways because you want to imprint it in people's heads. Okay, how is this book gonna fit into my customer's day or
Uh-huh.
their week or something like that?
Yeah, I love that so much, especially for our audience that writes mostly nonfiction, especially Christian living, but beyond that too, mental health and business books as well. But yeah, envisioning like really getting them to see this book is helpful for you and it's going to help your daily life, and this is how. But being able to show it, to them in action somehow. And I love like what you were talking about. I was thinking, I want you to find the author you were following, even though it may be somebody that, published years ago, but I always think it's interesting, like if I'm a nonfiction author, to kind of see what a fiction author is doing, or somebody completely different than my genre, or just somebody on YouTube, just to see how they're doing things and not that you're going to copy what they do, but just like seeing how they tell the story, I guess. And like, this is probably a whole nother conversation I could have with you, Danielle. It's just about the storytelling aspect. How can we get better at that versus because we are so used to buy my book or my book's out for sale
Mm.
or, we talk about just the features of it, but how can we get into more of, the storytelling aspect of it that the people on the other side want to hear more about?
Yeah. And so when it comes to that, I have a list on my computer where I keep like a list of stories, stuff about myself that I can jot down, or you can use AI to do that. You can like go in, whatever AI tool you use, kind of like write down, just free write everything interesting. Or even if you don't think it's interesting, rewrite whatever about yourself. What has happened over the years, anything, right? Ask ChatGPT to come up with some story ideas for you. It will, spit out some story ideas for you based on what you had. Another great thing is I have in my office, I have a couple of books that I bought from Target, and I like mentioning this idea to people. These books I bought quite a few years ago, but they're journal. Well, they have journal
Uh-huh.
prompts in them, and they ask you about yourself. And when I saw them, I said, you know what, this would be great for like social media content or to get my wheels turning to, of things to talk about, to have more story driven content. So something like 300 writing prompts. And then I
Okay.
have one that's called 300 more writing prompts. And essentially, they're prompts that are related to your life. And you just write out the answers. I think they're great ideas for like social media content. You can kind of tweak it to tie in to what you do. Those are always good ideas. And I would recommend, this is hard because we're all so busy, but like I mentioned, like an idea of a story bank. Why not, I don't know, put it on your calendar maybe once a month or once a quarter to jot down everything, that stood out to you in your life as an author or as a person in general, over that month or over that quarter, and kind of think through how can I use this in content. You'd be surprised like what will actually connect with people. You'd be very surprised. So I would recommend, kind of being intentional about it and putting something on your calendar like, okay, let me create a story bank for my video content. Let me sit down and write out or just jot down, doesn't have to be perfect, jot down anything interesting that happened over the past month or so or quarter, see how I can turn this into some sort of video content that sells my book. So
Mhm.
I think that's a good idea for people to do.
Yeah, I love that idea of a story bank. And I was just thinking through, there's so many things that we connect with, like on social media. But I was thinking, I think the very first time I ever went to your website for, some resource, I'm sure, from your podcast or something, Danielle. But I remember seeing like on your about page, like you're a beach girl, which I am too.
Mhm.
And you like caramel in your coffee, which I did too. Like there was so many
Yeah.
little things that I was like, oh, she's my girl. Right. And we both love
Yep. Mhm.
Jesus. And, there's all kinds of things but I would but it's those kind of things that, like, if you can pull those into your content, it does make that connection, right? It's that connection
Mm.
point, and then you can broaden it out from there. But, yeah, I love that. I'm gonna have to do that myself, some story bank ideas, and let's see how far I get
Mhm.
with them.
Yeah.
But when you do sit down and kinda look back, I mean, I've done that, like, in just on a business journey standpoint, it's really surprising how much comes up, that you're like, "Oh, wow, I did do," if you're just trying to come up with accolades for yourself, for lack of a better word, but, like, you just forget sometimes the ups and downs of your journey and how there are important things to talk about and relate to your readers. So, yeah, I love it so much. Okay, so let me ask you also, as we were talking about doing videos, like another stumbling block is thinking that you have to have a fancy camera, fancy lighting, and all those things. Do you have to do that to get started with video?
Absolutely not. And, of course, some people might say, oh, yeah, and I shoot video for people like in person with a Sony camera, right? But however, everybody doesn't have one of those every single day, right? So if you don't have one of those, you don't have anyone to help you, then you need to pull out your smartphone, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, and it will get the job done. You just gotta make sure that the settings are correct. And the simplest thing is to, make sure you wipe off the camera lens because you'd be surprised at how much of a difference your video looks if you wipe off the camera lens or you don't. It can look foggy and all these things because, you've handled it throughout the day, your hands get on it. Make sure you're wiping off the camera lens, which is one of the simplest things. And like phones these days, they shoot 4K video. So if
Uh-huh.
you have settings right and wiping off the lens of your camera, it's going to show up right. Okay. It's going to show up right. Whether you're shooting just some clips of yourself or you are talking straight to the camera. What I will say is when you are talking straight to the camera, if a lot of people don't know this, that I would recommend using the back camera. So instead of, having your phone, how you take a selfie or whatever, don't use that camera that you normally use. Don't have it face that way when you do a video. If you can, you just take some time to sit down wherever you're gonna sit, set up the tripod with the phone, go back around and look and see, make sure that, where you're sitting at is in frame of the camera and go back around and start talking because it just looks better using the back camera of your phone versus using it kind of in selfie mode when you're
Okay.
recording video. Um, that's what I will say when it comes to that. And like I said, your phone is more than capable. Most phones these days shoot 4K video. You just have to make sure that you just have the settings right. And most phones have good audio too. But if your phone doesn't have good audio or you want to, just be mindful or be on the safe side, you can always go to Amazon and find some affordable mics to plug into your phone. When I started my business, I did not have my Sony camera that I have now. Um, so I would use my iPhone to do everything. And, you know, it got me through it. Like you can use your phone for YouTube. You just gotta make sure that the settings are right and that, again, wiping off the camera, it makes such a big difference, and also having a light as well, kind of like a ring light or face the window where you have natural light, making sure that all of that's good to go, and you're good. Your phone will work just as fine, and I'm glad you brought this up because also when it comes to like trending stuff, if you are on social media, you've seen people rave about the small
Uh-huh.
camera. Okay, so now I don't know everyone's situation out here, but I feel like just scrolling on social media, I feel like a lot of people are buying into trends more so than knowing how to tell a story with their content. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you are going to go out here and buy this DJI Osmo camera because it's trendy and everybody's getting it versus, okay, I need to buckle down, I need to learn how to market my book or offer using story driven content because that's what's going to make it sell, not you using this certain type of camera. I know a lot of people get it for convenience, but at the same time, I think that a lot of people are putting, trends before strategy.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. I mean, because
Mhm.
you see that and you think, okay, I just need this tool and I'm going to be able to have the exact same success as this other
Mhm.
person. And you might, but there's probably a lot more to it than what we know about. Well, so speaking of that, Danielle, tell us what kind of services you offer for strategy or video editing or creation or anything like that. Because I know our audience will want to know more about that and how to connect with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I have video editing where I edit clients' videos, whether it's short form or long form videos. I do video strategy with them. I have a 90-minute video strategy session that I'll do, for anyone that's needing direction on their videos. They're just, all over the place, feeling all over the place, don't know where to get started with it, or they feel like they need a refresh in their video content. So I do those 90-minute strategy sessions with them. I also do video editing. And then for people that are, if you happen to be in Alabama, I'm in Montgomery, Alabama. If you happen to be here and you need someone to actually shoot your videos, then I do those as well. So,
Oh, so that'd be so cool to do. Oh, great. Well, thank you. And I'll be sure and put links to all your goodies in the show notes. And it's been so great to have you here, Danielle, and just to learn all about how authors can implement video into their strategy because you sure make it sound a lot simpler than other people. So I so appreciate that.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. And my thing is, I really hope that more people have, more confidence in showing up to sell their offers, whether it's books, services, and, kind of be intentional about using the storytelling aspect of it when it comes to marketing your work. After all, um, everyone listening, you've wrote a book or you're thinking about a book, so you're already good at storytelling. So,
Hmm.
why not use that as well to sell your book?
That's a great point. Danielle, you're right. Because, yeah, writers are so good at that. But we sometimes get that blinder on when we want to go to video. So that's such a great point. Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I sure appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, I love what Danielle said. Don't put trends before strategies. Ooh, goodness, I am all over that one. So important to remember as we serve our target readers online. They're not looking for a trend, they're looking for how your book can help them. Thanks for tuning in to Book Marketing Mania. And as always, I'll be there for you next episode to help you reach and serve your readers one podcast at a time. See you then.